So you already know this story, right? In 2014, a doctor ripped off insurance. In 2015, collections tried to kill me. I tried to subpoena the hospital, but they got to the lawyer, so I had to look into it. Along the way, blackmail was suggested, and I said something about how it has to be on celluloid because you can fake digital. There can be copies. Come to find out, East Africa is pretending to negotiate with people plausibly deniably. They're impersonating the Central Intelligence Agency and running like a cartel setup on white people. I was like, well, either way, there's been a terrible misunderstanding. So I took everything I had, everything I could borrow, and went high profile and non-committal. Like, why should I believe it's a cartel? Like, there's no cartel out there dumb enough to think we had unfinished business, like sticking their nose looking for trouble where they don't need it. So it just turns out I've had faggots following me around since preschool. So it's another type of cartel. But this one is an abomination. Sodom and Gomorrah, they overrule your democracy by raping everybody. You're a slave of the prophet or the infidel, and slaves are always the first to get eaten. So I said that I never testified, and East Africa is like, oh, they had an arrangement. Come to find out they did fake an arrangement, but it was on CCTV with no context. So there's a snuff film out there of me getting raped on an operating table when I was 6 years old. It's been 40 years. I've been trying to reach the CIA for 10 years. I'm not gay, I've never been gay, I'm never gonna be gay. And first, do no harm, or you're not a doctor in any religion, because all men have a God-given right to self-defense. The FBI knows that indirect encounters are not admissible as evidence. So if you're like following little boys around trying to make them sell drugs without a word to their faces to cover up raping them in surgery, you have no legal or moral obligation other than just going to prison. You can go to prison. Or die is the alternative. It's not Satanism. It's totally kosher. The 3-6 Mafia comes from entrapping all the Italians and then forcing them to use Uganda for muscle. The last king of Scotland literally ate a guy. So this is literal cannibals. And the bottom line is, it's really the Haitians pretending they thought we had a kid. Same thing they did to Michael Jackson, inventing probable cause to protect them from me from overseas without a word to our faces. And then what, they just tell the FBI I'm gay? Like gay people have no rights. They're protected. I'm not gay. They raped me. But you're not protected unless you are gay because you're white, because it's East Africa. So you're protected if you're gay because they don't have to prosecute, because it was your idea. Either way, they're just raping white people because mitochondrial Eve means the Bible's wrong. Islam has been calling the Pope a liar for 1,400 years. Mitochondrial Eve just gave them an excuse to pretend it's science. They're not with me. And that's international law and the Constitution. Where does your authority come from? Not the Pope. So Watergate is just inventing gangs and trying to flog people with stolen technology and false morality because they think God promised all this to them. The mitochondrial Eve. The first men were from East Africa, therefore they must have been black, as if they wouldn't have eaten them. So all poor white people are either racist or gay, because this is where the money is. They just frame us and steal it. And you can just make up bitcoins. It's ostensibly backed by blackmail, but as long as it's just cryptographic protection of blackmail, you can make up a bunch of cryptographic noise. So that's why celluloid. There was no arrangement. And if I'm costing you money, it's because I've been trying to reach the CIA for the past 10 years, and you're a problem. Stop paying these people. What it boils down to is you're just not allowed to investigate. So why are you on the payroll to begin with? I went ahead and investigated anyway. The guy's been reported. Fuck your cryptography. Don't get caught lying to the Pope. We won't have this problem. Why wouldn't I have married her if I didn't have a bunch of faggots following me around? Why would I have met her in the first place? I'd have been betrothed for my country in 3rd grade if we had known that was the game. They're raping little boys in surgery and calling them liars till they shoot up a school because they're married. That's why the press, the free press, I'm a practical comparative theologist. I know what I know because this is my field. Nobody told me. A bunch of plausibly deniable zombie faggot assholes acting like I was in on it. There was no arrangement. We were not negotiating. Nobody in their right minds could possibly be dumb enough to think we were negotiating how to get connected to me in the first place. The middlemen. Well, this is why we have the Central Intelligence Agency, and the idea of decentralizing intelligence was meant to protect them. Three-man interconnected cells. And there's a blueprint out there. I didn't make it up. I just found it. And these people are just sabotaging the government and thinking they can just claim to be with me behind my back, because what they did was rape me and then blame my own church and state. And you act like you represent my church and state against me? Not to my face, though. That's where this whole internet thing isn't really currency, it's just information. But when you can put a bank online and then rob it blind, and now you're killing people with the internet, why wouldn't the government have regulations with the FCC for the radio? So we're under attack by the dumbest thing that has ever happened, and defended by people who couldn't investigate their way out of a wet paper bag. And neither of them's with me for you to begin penalized. You can't ban waterboarding, Exodus 32:20. They're using human shields. We liberated Kuwait for this. I'm where the money's at. Follow me.